Hello and welcome to Cooking Books with Heather. Today we're going to be making a really quick recipe. We're going to be making Coco's smoked chicken salad from Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue. And since I've already prepped everything, it should come together in like a minute. Maybe a little more. I don't know. We'll see because I talk a lot. This uses the leftover smoked chicken that we made previously, and I'll link that up there, from the same book, Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue. And if you'll recall, it had the rib rub and Rodney's sauce on it, also from the same book. So they'll all be linked in this video somewhere. And we're going to use that also for the smoked chicken salad. So I have pulled the chicken from, it's about half of a chicken. I didn't really measure the results, even though he gives a measurement. It's about half of the chicken. I just pulled it apart with my hands, pulled it off the bones, got rid of any bits I didn't want to eat. And we are going to add some more of Rodney's sauce. Now, I'm a little concerned that this might end up being kind of spicy because the sauce itself is kind of spicy, especially near the end, which is where we are with our batch. And some of the rub that we talked about. I'm just going to put that on there. And then this is Duke's mayo. He specifically calls for Duke's mayo. I'm sure you can use whatever you prefer, but we are a Duke's house, and that is what we have, and that is what I'm using. Now, I did not measure the onions or celery yet, so I'm going to do that. I'm sure it's very rough, and I could use all of those if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Let's see if there's enough of this. These are cut into a relatively small dice. I'm just going to use all of my celery. I think he says a 1/4 inch dice, and that was a yellow onion that was what he requested, and some scallions. I had these already cut up, but he says to cut those up about a 1/4 inch thick. They'll be fine. And we're just going to mix it up. I'm going to get that bit of onion off my hand. Mine looks a little wetter than his, but I followed everything to the T. And I'm pretty sure they don't always photograph things exactly as they are in the book. That's just my guess with a lot of these recipes. Not necessarily this book, but sometimes things do not look the way they do if you follow the recipes. Now, he says it serves 2. It looks like it would make a lot more sandwiches than 2 to me, even relatively thick. He says you can serve it, on white bread, fresh white bread, or just on a bed of iceberg lettuce with sliced tomatoes. Now, since I'm a little concerned about how spicy this might be, I am going to give this a taste. It has a little heat on the back of my throat, but I think especially with lettuce, tomato, and this would kind of, it's fine. It's not super hot in my mouth, but there's a little something at the back of my throat. So he says this will keep in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. I'm going to try and make my kids a salad using this tomorrow for school lunch. We'll see if they eat it, hopefully. But I will probably also be eating it tomorrow. And I will show you what that looks like and let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make Coco's smoked chicken salad from Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue, which used the smoked chicken that we made previously. That will definitely be linked on this video. I have a little bit of a problem with this recipe. Mine ended up very loose. There was a lot of liquid in it. And I think that I would definitely cut down the amount of Rodney's sauce in it just to not make it so loose. I think we still have a little bit of the chicken left over, and I'll probably add that to it and maybe get it to cover a little bit more. But it does not look like the picture, which is much drier than mine. Also, it's a little spicy because that Rodney sauce is pretty spicy, especially after having been sitting for a while, which ours has in the refrigerator. So I think cutting that down would help that as well, help that problem. So it builds. It's a spice that sort of is in the back of your throat. You feel it when you taste it, but the more you eat, the more it builds. So that was not well loved here in my house. But it's a good chicken salad. Other than that, like I said, a few tweaks, and I would certainly eat this again. I think I will probably be adding the chicken that we have left over and making a sandwich, which I haven't really tried yet, or eating it with crackers, which is also one of my favorite ways to eat chicken salad. So if you've enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and come back and watch me make something else next week.